Hello, speedrun fans, and good morning to you on this early Saturday morning here on RGL TV. I am your host, Enemy TV, bringing you all the action from the 5th Makaimura relay race. We have 3 amazing teams lined up for you today. We have Team America, consisting of DOSBox Falco. Let me pull up this list here. DOSBox Falco, Telio, and Aquas. Team Japan, we have Last, as you see on your screen there. We have Malcolm, the world record holder in Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and see if I can pronounce this. Uzo Muzo for Ghosts and Demons, as well as Team Europe. Costin there on your screen for G&G, Fred, and Bizarre 2K. And if you saw our Halloween Horror Marathon, you can't help but know that Bizarre is the #1 stud right here at Ghosts and Demons, which is a fantastic fan-made game based off of the WonderSwan version of Ghouls and Ghosts. So it'll be a really interesting race. We have 3 of the games from the series, Ghouls and Ghosts, Super Ghouls and Ghosts, and the aforementioned Ghosts and Demons. So it'll be very exciting all throughout the day. This should last a couple hours, probably, maybe even a little bit less than that with these runners. So sit back, enjoy your Saturday, and have a lot of fun here on RGL TV, bringing you the English rebroadcast of the 5th Makaimura relay race. We'll get going in just a few minutes here. All right, it does look like all of our racers are getting set up here. We should be underway here very shortly. All right, our runners will be off and running here in just a second. We just had our countdown, and they should be going here momentarily. And we are off in here in our 5th Makaimura relay race. Starting off with Ghouls and Goats, excuse me. This, of course, is the arcade version. We are not playing the Mega Drive version. We're certainly not playing the Master System version. Everybody has maintained their armor through the first little section to the first checkpoint. We will see how our boosts go here. All 3 of our runners will be looking to boost. And it looks like Team Europe, Costin there, is going for the Aquas boost. Perhaps not. It actually looks like he's slowing down here, just getting the gold armor, probably to set up the quick kill on the boss here. Which I guess would actually be what you would use the gold armor for, not for boosting. All right, last first to get the, somewhat ironically, first to get to Shielder here and put him away. DOSBox Falco, our world record holder, is now inside of the boss's hitbox. We'll see how this sorts out, and it is no problem as Costin also putting away Shielder. And there you see that gold armor being put to work. And now we have the wee baby turtles. Of course, the turtles are somewhat different than in the console version. As you see right there, that RNG not going Costin's way as he loses that that fantastic gold armor. Both Last and DOSBox Falco able to make it through to the bridges with their armor intact. And now it is Last getting just a slight lead in the early goings here. Of course, you see their timers are slightly offset from one another. Our first death there goes to Costin. But he'll jump right back in, no problem there. It's a pretty easy death to take. He may have been trying to avoid a weapon. I'm not entirely sure there. That is, you definitely don't want to find yourself in the early goings with a particularly nasty weapon. Some runners it can do it without a second thought, but me personally, I would take a death to avoid a crummy weapon in this stage. All right, we are at the Cerberus fight. Dawson Last taking care of business, and Costin will be joining them very shortly here. And now up the elevator we go, as all of our runners are looking to get the dagger. There you see it on last screen. The shield is there. That will increase the drop chance for a dagger coming up, as long as DOSBox Falco continues to spawn his shields, which of course he will do. There are, or excuse me, not shields, the chests. Last continuing to spawn them as well, although he is pretty much set and ready to go. And there you see the dagger, as well as some gold armor for DOSBox Falco. And Costin now taking his ride up the elevator. Narrowly avoiding the magician there. But when there's the dagger, can he get it in time? Yes, he can. Just sneaks over there without taking a hit. A good job out of Costin. Now the Pog Champs are on the screen as DOS and Last are making their way through this this scrum here. Both DOS and Last. Oh, actually, Last looks like he bailed out some of the faster strats there. But DOS showing off just how quickly you can get through here, especially on the arcade version. Just jumping over some of the Digestamura mouths and getting to Gasuto, aka Krako, making short work of him. So DOSBox Falco now taking over the early lead here. Of course, we do have 2 loops here, as is standard for all these games, although we will not see 2 loops for the Ghosts and Demons run. For those unfamiliar with Ghosts and Demons, it is, you talk about a game series that is known for its difficulty. Well, Ghosts and Demons ramps up that difficulty tenfold, 100-fold. You can probably overstate it, but it would be difficult for me to do so. So there is a category for defeating the first loop only, and that is what our racers will be doing. Doss there taking the intentional death to set up his checkpoint and reduce the rank overall. Of course, this does have a rank-based system, which means the longer you stay alive and the more items you get, particularly getting more armor pickups, the more difficult the game becomes for you. And you certainly want the game to be nice and easy for this boss here. This is Ohm. In my opinion, the worst boss in this game, because you have to watch out for all this different random elements that you have in the little slugs, as well as these flying worms. But it looks like Doss is going to have a nice clear ride to take out Ohm here, no problems whatsoever. Last taking him on now as well, and Costin shortly behind. But we are coming up on the end of the first loop, and there you go. See, Last finding out about that nasty RNG. The game just spawns the space worms right on top of you. It's really not fair at times. But what would a GNG game be with fairness, I tell you? Doss kiting this last Reamer with him. Just trying to get underneath him. There you go. That upward fire taking care of business. So Doss is looking in pretty good shape, and now Costin is actually looking like he's going to jump out. Yes, indeed, in front of Last. Meanwhile, Doss taking another intentional death there, once again, resetting his rank as well as confirming the checkpoint. So Doss is sitting pretty here at the end of the first loop. He's now making a mad dash towards Beelzebub here, our final boss of the first loop. And Costin is accosting some of these red Reamers. You see, he's trying to play it safe here. Let them fly above him. Ooh, the sword is there. The sword is a powerful weapon, but he really probably doesn't want it at this point. He has the dagger. He has one Reamer down, and there he goes. And Last taking care of Ohm. Ohm finally mercifully cooperating, so Last is going to jump right back in this. Just be trying to will his way back into this one. Not an insurmountable lead by any point, or by any stretch of the imagination at this point for Last, so he can certainly jump back into this one, but it looks like Doss is going to have first cracks at Beelzebub here. So we'll see how this fight goes. Does not have gold armor, so will not be able to effectuate the quick kill here. We'll be trying to get some of these flies to go away. Does so. And now just hop underneath there. Try to get a kill. No, does not get that second cycle. Oh, so it's going to take that damage there from the flies. And this should put him away. Yes, indeed. All right, one loop down for Doss. I can imagine Doss is maybe perhaps not extremely thrilled with how that fight went, knowing what he is capable of. However, he has to be happy that he is in the lead at this point. So good things are happening for Team America. We should point out this is Team North America, because DOSBox Falco is in fact Canadian. Scandal. Meanwhile, we have Costin coming up on Beelzebub. And Last, taking a game over. That is no big deal here, of course. Because we are at the checkpoint here on the final stage for Last. And Costin is now looping back to loop 2 here, taking care of Beelzebub. Looked like that fight went pretty well. And Last, hot on their heels here. So we're keeping it pretty close here in the early goings of this 5th International Makaimura Relay Race. Team America out to an early lead, but a lot of Makaimura left to go, ladies and gentlemen. We have Super Ghouls and Ghosts coming up after this, and then our finale, Ghosts and Demons. And I tell you what, it's going to be real tough to outfox Bizarre 2K in that Ghosts and Demons if there's any breathing room at all. So lots still to come here. All right, Last taking on Bub here. does have the gold armor, but looking to get that quick kill, does not quite get it. Oh, yeah. There you see him attacking those flies, getting him to go up and above Arthur there, saving his life. Cannot attack above in that position, up in the walls. So just gonna send those flies flying over his head, and this should do it. Yes, indeed. So last about a stage behind right now. Costa now making his way up. Not rolling with the armor this time, just going to Shielder. Going to try to be making quick work here. See if Shielder cooperates. And no problem for Costin. But it is DOSBox Falco maintaining his lead here as we're going to the checkpoint of Stage 2 Loop 2 here on the 5th Makaimura Relay Race. Ooh, narrowly avoiding that fire water there. So good job out of DOSBox Falco to hang on to that dagger. Oh, that fire just crept up and got him in the perineum. That's right. But no matter, as DOS is once again first to get the Cerberus. And dropping those daggers down and making quick work. Costa was hanging on there, and he was having some close calls with those fire bats. But of course, the old Red Reamer decided to swoop at an inopportune time, and that was all she wrote. No problem. Costa was right at the checkpoint, so he's still rolling in second place as Last now, who is in fact in last place at this exact moment. However, is starting Stage 2 here. So surely not putting his team in too far of a hole at this point. DOSBox Falco now loaded up for Bear. Got the gold armor, got his dagger. Just trying to avoid, oh, well, there you go. No sooner do we say it than the rock gets dropped right on his dome piece. He's going to get this armor. Now he's going to have to bebop real quickly over to the right side of the screen to make this cycle, so he does not get squished. And he makes it through. And the Pog Champs are awaiting him. As he is finishing off the elevator ride, and now we will see what he can do to make up some time here. Jumping over the mouth. One little minor mistake here, and he will be digested by these statues. By these, I guess they're statues. I don't know about any statues that eat, but these statues come to eat. And look at that. Jumping on a platform that is not on screen yet. The gall of it. But he makes it happen. And that is just that next level play that you see from these racers, who know exactly what's going to happen and when it's going to happen, and can capitalize on it to speed up their runs through that stage and really through the entirety of the game. So excellent job from DOS there. We find ourselves once again on the Crystal Cavern, and we'll be fighting Ohm here shortly. A little bit of a gauntlet here, having to deal with these mudworms as they spawn. But DOS actually getting through pretty easily here. It looks like he's just going to go forward. He has his armor, so we'll see what happens. Costa now going through here, and did not like the pattern that he had for him. Oh, and there you see, he was off just by a pixel or two, and got snatched up by the mouth. Even though the mouth didn't quite close in on him. He got chomped. So he will have to do this section over again, and that will give Last an opportunity to make up some ground there. Oh, and Costin now with the big dive there. But no water in the pool. And now Last is pretty much neck and neck here with Costin. But now Last having to avoid that shield. And meanwhile, on DOSBox Falco's screen, Ohm is down, and he is onto the final main stage of the game. There will be a final boss after this stage. but it should be of no consequence for DOSBox Falco. Oh, and last, not quite hitting that jump the way he wanted to. She gives Costin first cracks at Gasudo here. Loses his armor, should be okay. We'll see what happens here. Oh, and Gasudo stops just in time, giving Costin a chance, but no! Into the clouds he goes. And now once again, last jumping in front of Costin, as he will go on to Gasudo. And DOSBox Falco will take his intentional death, resetting that rank and securing his checkpoint here on the climb up this ladder. So DOS is in good shape here. His two competitors are a full, basically 2 stages behind him at this point. Just starting the previous stage, as he is about to end the the final stage of this run, the final main stage. Being careful here, because he does need to maintain this gold armor so he can get the goddess, or excuse me, not the goddess bracelet, the Psycho Cannon from the goddess here. I always mix up Psycho Cannon and Psycho Crusher. There's a safety strat that involves destroying both of those asteroids that are right there, the twin asteroids. Costin doesn't need, or excuse me, DOSBox Falco does not need safety strats. In fact, none of our racers do. Oh no! Oh no, what a terrible misfortune has befallen DOSBox Falco. Getting not only hit there, but hit into a shield. Has to take the death because you must defeat Bub with the Psycho Cannon. Otherwise, you will have to replay this stage. And that, what a terrible circumstance for DOSBox Falco, which will, in fact, looks like give Last an opportunity to jump back in here a little bit. He will now be on the same stage, although not the same checkpoint as DOSBox Falco. So that, as you can see right there, ladies and gentlemen, just that quickly, things can turn around for our racers. So now not only does DOSBox Falco need to get gold armor, but also needs to reacquire the Psycho Cannon. Has the sword now, and I can only imagine what's going on in his head right now, folks. Meanwhile, Costin taking on Ohm. Has to get that left side set of intestines and head over to the right safety point. And no, it is not happening for DOS there, which means now Last, completely kitted out here, has his gold armor, has his Psycho Cannon, is in very good shape. He may be able to overtake DOSBox Falco here. You'll see what happens. And Ohm goes down for Costin, so Team Europe now, they're going to be getting back into this one here. And there you see the sword magic cast from DOSBox Falco, making quick work of the shielder heads. This treasure right here should contain the Psycho Cannon. Yes, it does. And now, wow, what a comeback for Last and Team Japan here in this first game of this relay, as Last is now only a few moments behind DOSBox Falco. We will see what happens here as both racers approach the Beelzebub fight. Oh, the shield was there again, but DOSBox Falco manages to avoid it. And now he will get first cracks at Bub here on loop 2. Oh my goodness. He narrowly avoided the same fate. Ay, ay, ay. DOSBox Falco in good shape here, but Beelzebub not cooperating. Last now actually getting Bub down first, even without the armor, and he is going in to the Lucifer fight, the Loki fight. Trying to get up on that knee, not quite getting it. Oh boy, no armor for either of them. Let's see who can get him down first. Oh, it is Last in Team Japan taking it home, and a death for DOSBox Falco. So Team Japan pulling out the victory here in this first race. Wow, and DOSBox Falco coming in strong at the end there as well. Holy cow. Now we have our racers going on to Super Ghouls and Ghosts with Team Japan and Malcolm having the first crack at this one. Looks like he's got the bow, as well as Telio for America with the bow. And we'll get all the audio sorted out here in just a moment. Let's Let's see here. All right. So you can see our runners have swapped over to their timers for Super Ghouls and Ghosts. So we will pull up a timer here for the full event in just a hot second. A little bit of cross music there. We'll get that sorted as well. All right. So now we have the master and ruler of the Super Ghouls and Ghosts universe taking on one of the great rising stars in that space in Telio. Malcolm, of course, the long-standing and grandest of world champions, who just has been untouched for many years. But I tell you what, Telio has come on strong in a very short amount of time. I believe he now has a high 33 in this game. Previously, at the start of this year, no one outside of Japan had ever had a sub 35 time in this game, and now 3 people, I believe, outside of Japan have a sub 35, maybe 4 in fact. But Telio now the lowest time of anyone outside of Japan with, I believe, a 33.56. It's somewhere thereabouts. I apologize if I'm shaving off time off of his illustrious personal best, but Telio has just been a force in the community here since picking up this game. And he should be able to give Malcolm a good battle here as we make our way onto the ghost ship. Now you see the nice skip there from Telio. Oh, and the frame perfect. The frame and pixel perfect jump upwards there from Malcolm. As you see, Malcolm is set up with the scythe, a weapon that on its own you do not want. But Malcolm is going to be content to pick up every weapon drop that is available to him at this point in an effort to try to acquire the dagger. As well, do you see Telio with the bow and arrow? Bow and arrow, not the absolute worst weapon, although because he does, well, because very shortly he will have, actually I guess he has the upgrade right now. The bow and arrow will attempt to home in. Oh, there we see Costin taking care of Loki at the end of Ghouls and Ghosts, which means Team Europe will be switching over to Fred for Super Ghouls and Ghosts here. Is Fred going, or excuse me, hang on a second. Yeah. Okay, so Malcolm is actually content to go forward without picking up the javelin there. Very interesting strat. He's going to stick with the scythe in this situation. As you see, Telio has picked it up. The way that this game works is that if you keep every so many drops from enemies, you will get every 3rd drop, which is like every 9th enemy, I think, that can drop an item, will drop a weapon. And as long as you keep picking up weapons, the game will continue to give you weapons in that cycle. If, however, within a checkpoint you choose not to pick up a weapon in that fashion, then the game will stop giving you weapons. Now, you can still get weapons from the chest drops that are supposed to give you weapons, but you will no longer get weapons from the drops from enemies, which is pretty important, because you want to try to get a good weapon for the end of this stage and really going forward throughout the rest of the game. As you see now, Telio has suffered through taking the scythe as well to try to continue encouraging the game to drop him weapons. Very interesting from Malcolm. And look at that. Look at that paying off for Malcolm in a huge way. Able to get the dagger. Fred, meanwhile, does not have to worry about the weapon that he is dealt because he already has the dagger. So he has that going for him, which is nice. He may be a bit behind, folks, but Fred, one of the great forces for good in the community. I dare say that perhaps no one has taught more runners more about Super Ghouls and Ghosts than Fred. He has put together some great tutorial information and always been a very helpful voice in the community. So now we see Telio has his dagger. He's going to avoid the javelin, also known as the lance. And all three of our runners, by hook or by crook, have acquired the dagger. And now we will see, coming up at the bottom of your screen, Malcolm will have first cracks to do this quick kill on the Storm Caceres, this second stage boss. And there he is. Shooting with the dragon, gonna drop a couple more daggers in while he charges his magic up, and there it is. Just that quick, ladies and gentlemen. The boss is defeated. And now the same coming up from Telio. And no problem for Telio. So Team America is keeping it close, but Malcolm does have a lead, and anytime you utter those words, you know it's scary for his competitors. There's a reason why he's had a stranglehold over this game for so many years now. Oh boy. Oh, the little imp did not cooperate. Now he loses his shield there, which was intentional. Taking a hit on his armor, however, was not intentional. Our racers ideally would like to lose their shield through this section because there's so much lag in this early Super Nintendo game that getting rid of the shield, removing that extra sprite from the screen is actually advantageous to our runners and saves them a little bit of time. But you do not want to lose your armor. Now, I say that, Malcolm may be completely content to lose his armor. You know, if anyone is, it would certainly be him. And you can absolutely go forward and either get the checkpoint or really continue on to the end of this stage without armor. But obviously, you're going to be at a somewhat disadvantage with your firepower as well as what's going to happen if you take a hit. So we'll see how he chooses to go. It looks like he's just going to press forward. He says, you know what? I'm Malcolm. I can do what I want. I will bend this game to my will. And so far, he's doing that. But this will give Telio an opportunity to get the quick kill and make up for a few seconds of lost time behind Malcolm if things play out as they are right now throughout the rest of this stage. Certainly, lots can happen in this stage. We can get some batty nonsense here. There we see 3 bats on the screen, and oh, there's 4. There you see 4. Wow, and threading the needle right there. Excellent job out of Malcolm to just barely avoid that hit. That's why he's the best, folks. Telio not having to worry about any of that stuff. Looks like he's getting a pretty clean path through here without too much bat nonsense. And now they are pretty much in lockstep with one another. Malcolm will be fixing to get some gold armor here. That should be coming up in 2 chests, I believe. He may not even bother with it. He may just go in for the standard dagger mash 'em kill on the death crawler here. We'll see. He is walking along the ground, so there we go. Of course, he can't get gold armor at this point. I'm sorry, my chest progression was all out of whack. I was still thinking about Ghouls and Ghosts. You have to get the green armor in order to get gold armor, and there just are not enough chests left in the stage. So yes, Malcolm will be trying to just damage down this kill, or this boss here. Meanwhile, Telio is going for the safer quick kill here and gets the job done. So it will, in fact, be Team America taking a lead on to stage 4 here. But you see the furious attack from Malcolm, still making quick work of Deathcrawler. 1 cycle, no problem. And meanwhile, we have a Storm Caceres quick kill on the Team Europe screen there. So boss is getting killed left, right, and center here, ladies and gentlemen. Now Team Europe with Fred looking to try to rush through this 3rd stage. It will be difficult to make up ground right now, although he will have if he can maintain his armor here and just get rid of his shield. Oh no! Oh yes, the imp not cooperating. So we've seen that now on 2 of our screens. Imps trying to make it all about themselves. Just really rude customers. And now the Mode 7 is out in full force. Both Team America and Team Japan screen. It looks like, yes, indeed, Telio for Team America will be getting to the checkpoint first, only a couple of moments ahead. Well, actually, in fact, if you look at their timer offset, he is actually quite a bit further ahead than it appears on their screens. So Telio is having a nice showing for himself in the early goings here. I have seen Telio several times now in marathon settings, and he is a cool customer under pressure, and someone who I would say most closely approximates the certainty that things will work out for him in this game that Malcolm seems to possess throughout all of his runs. And that is the exact mindset that you want to have going in there. If that's not the case, he hides it well. I can tell you that much. But he had an absolutely excellent run of Super Ghouls and Ghosts at the RGL TV Halloween Horror Marathon last month. And on your screen there, you see just how close Malcolm and Telio are to one another. Telio about 10 seconds ahead in real time, but from what we're seeing on screen, it looks like they are pretty much in the exact same spot, just a couple of paces behind each other. Meanwhile, Fred for Team Europe getting hit by some of these goblins as they fall on that last tower. So he'll be going into Deathcrawler without his armor, just have to attack him down as he circles around. Shouldn't be any issue for Fred, though. Getting that sweet spot where he's able to jump up as the Deathcrawler rolls around without taking a hit. There's very precise positioning there. Basically right underneath the center of the Deathcrawler. Oh, and I think technically that still counts as a one cycle. Got that one shot off, but was able to get the key without any issue. And see, that's a section right there where, as you can see on your screen now, Malcolm taking a bit of a lead. That section there through the Ice Snakes, the Flying Knights, and the Red Reamer. I don't think there's anyone in the world that does it faster than Malcolm. He goes through there not thinking, but knowing that the game is going to work out the way that he wants it to. And having that confidence and playing in such a way makes so much of a difference through that section, which can be extremely laggy and can really shut you down with bad RNG. Because you can get to a point where you are just stuck and having to destroy or wait for enemies on screen. Malcolm is through. And Telio now, just a quick kill away here. Oh! Give him a hand, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, now that's going to allow Malcolm to widen the gap here because he does have gold armor. Of course, that's going to be what he wants to carry on throughout the rest of this loop. Now, Telio's in a position where he is going to do a deboost here, and which will actually get him to the boss quicker, but it's not going to do him any favors on the next stage. You see, technically our runners are right next to each other for Team America and for Team Japan. Unfortunately, this kill will go much faster for Team Japan because he does have the magic. He does have the increased damage abilities that come along with the gold armor, which does give you that magic attack. So while Telio was able to get there very quickly, he does find himself a little bit behind the world champion here. Fred now for Team Europe, making his way over to the Hydra boss. A couple steam vents to go. Malcolm strikes me as so brazen the way he attacks his Red Reamers. Just jumping right up and knowing that, you know what, this Reamer's going to stand right here. I'm going to be able to nip his toe with my dagger. Everything will be fine. I don't need to stop for anything. You see that confidence on display once again in that situation, ladies and gentlemen. And now we will get a skip there. Ladder skip. Avoiding that. You can see Telio going with the more traditional, the simpler magic kill there on the Red Reamer, which does, of course, take a little bit longer, but is infinitely safer. Whoa, and that Cockatrice's head coming to say hello to Telio, and he used the hitbox perfectly to his advantage to get nice and close and get as much damage as he could early going. But Malcolm now is able to take out Neburoth, and we'll be looping back around to the start of Loop 2 here in Super Ghouls and Ghosts. And now we see Telio able to get this quick kill on Astaroth, using that dragon magic. And here we see the Ice Gauntlet. Oh, Fred able to jump over that snake as it's spawning. The hitboxes for these ice snakes do spawn a little bit later than the sprites themselves. And a good kill from Telio on Neburoth. So the loop is coming for him as well. And now it looks like Fred will just take the quick death here after getting the checkpoint, because the Red Reamer decided to give him a swoop. The old Reamer swoop of indifference. Reamers care not for speedruns. They're going to do what they want. Fred very nicely borrows the platform there from the Woo, that ice spitting bear. He has regained his green armor here, which means he's on the path to gold. He's got to spawn that chest up there, and there it is. So now he's in good shape for this boss fight. Should be able to get a quick kill as long as the cooperation's there. Malcolm very wisely there, losing his shield. The second loop, I mean, this stage is already very, very laggy, but the second loop with more spawns and gold armor, which has that little plumage on the top of the helmet as well as the shield, it just slows everything down to a crawl. So he very astutely gets rid of that shield very quickly. Again, a pretty difficult thing to sort out, because, you know, one wrong hit and you're not just losing your shield, you're losing your armor as well. And then you talk about losing time in this stage. Well, you know, without that extra firepower of the gold armor across the dagger, you are really slowing things down. Telio now also looks like he dumped his shield. Oh, but he got dumped on his head there by the fast-moving skeletons. On Loop 2 now, our difficulty has ramped up. And that means that things that can spawn are inclined to spawn more quickly. As you saw there with the skulls just dropping on his head in a way that he could not possibly avoid. Malcolm now getting to the Cockatrice. And he gets the typical fast kill there. No magic used on the Cockatrice. The magic would slow the fight down. When daggers do the job, don't use magic. That's the lesson. Malcolm now down into the water. Certainly this is the most frustrating section of the speedrun for any of us speedrunners of Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Not because it's difficult, it is not, but it is very slow, and to this point we have not been able to figure out a way to speed it up to any significant degree. Telio going for that frame pixel perfect jump there, does not quite get it. He's in okay shape, though. Just cost a second or two to climb up that ladder. No big deal. But those seconds or two will continue to amass in the favor of Malcolm as he can assert his dominance over this game. And we have looped for Team Europe. Fred now taking out Nebaroth and getting ready to start loop 2 here. All ready to go, has his gold armor. So we'll be getting us started on loop 2 here very shortly, as soon as Prin finishes her talking. Oh man, look at this murderer's row for Telio. Dual not desirable weapons there. And there's the gold armor he's looking for. Gonna have to avoid this hit. Oh, in fact, very wisely took the hit. My mistake, because he saw the opportunity to get rid of that shield and took it. And now he will have a little bit of an advantage on lag time removal there. Malcolm in the standard setup here with his steel armor. You may think him at a disadvantage, but he will be getting back up to gold armor before the end of the stage. And meanwhile, speaking of armor disadvantages, it looks like Fred has caught a little bit of stage 1, and it happens to all of us from time to time. Stage 1 just not cooperating and leaving Fred out in the wilderness naked. A lesser man would be afraid, but not Fred. He knows the score here. Oh, look how quickly those skulls are coming out. He's got to pick his spot, gets through. That's indeed. He's coming up to the checkpoint, but has a little bit of a ways to go. The checkpoint is not just yet. It is not until he gets past the tidal wave section. It does trigger that second tidal wave very quickly. It has a standard practice for the speed run. Jumping over one of the trigger points, so you get 2 in a row. That does save a little bit of time. And he's going to keep pressing forward. I am not surprised that he would choose to do this. Does not want to take a death where he doesn't need to. We'll get that steel armor back, though. Manages to get in there very quickly and get out. These nodules, these rosebuds will continue to respawn if you wait around. So he doesn't want to do that for too long, but he manages not to. Has that little extra safety and gets the green armor as well. So he's actually in pretty good shape now. Cost him a few seconds to make those armor acquisitions happen. But he's all set for right now. This would be where he would normally be at in stage 1 of loop 1 with the green armor. Meanwhile, Malcolm taking care of Storm Ciceris. And Telio will be following behind very shortly here. And now Malcolm getting on to the Inferno. And we will see what the imps choose to do this time. Oh, that imp looked for 2 swoops, but did not get it. Oh, and the man, that fire just did nip that shield, didn't it, folks? Oh my goodness. And he goes right across, dealing with the Grillion, and navigating his way underneath the falling lava. The hitbox for the lava doesn't really spawn until the full lava drop makes its way out of the spawn point, I guess. So Malcolm used that to his advantage. It looked very dangerous, but that's why he's the world champ, ladies and gentlemen. Storm Ciceris down for Telio and brings his gold armor over into the Inferno as well. And meanwhile, Fred now just must be pulling out his hair, knowing he has to wait for this foolishness. Oh, an excellent kill from Malcolm. Letting the Red Reamer swoop down and finish him off with standard daggers. Well, they're upgraded daggers, but still, he did not use magic, is my point. So far, the bats have been cooperative, but this is really the tower right here, where we will see how things go for Malcolm. It looks like, yeah, yes indeed, the bats were actually very cooperative for Malcolm. So he's loving life right now, as he gets onto the Goblin Towers here. Is he jumping up and trying to kill those goblins as they spawn? Now here's the Goblin Gauntlet here as we descend down this final tower. He's jumping up and timing those dagger hits. That last one's blind, and he actually waits for him to fall and kills him that way, ensuring that he gets through unscathed. A wise decision from Malcolm. And now we will see the fast quick kill, I believe. Yes, indeed. And there it is. Staying on the spawning platform for the Death Crawler. Jumping up, throwing a dagger at him, and charging and letting go. So you stay a little bit closer to the door that way. You have a little bit less traversal, and I think you save about 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds of time doing it that way. But it is a little bit more dangerous, because if you make any mistake, you're very likely to die and certain to lose your armor. Speaking of armor, Fred just picking up that green armor right there. He's going to be getting the gold from the next chest. And what Fred's done right there is actually spawn chests out of order, which is pretty impressive in an auto-scroller, in order to ensure that he gets both sets of armor. If he had gotten the chests in the order in which they would appear on screen in the normal progression of things, he would not be able to get gold armor. He would only be able to get up to green armor. So well done out of Fred. Here we go, Telio with the safe quick kill here. No problem. Death Crawler down. And now Fred, getting ready to take on Storm Ciceris, has his magic all charged and ready to go. So you know that quick kill is coming. And Telio losing his armor there. Which is always risky business at any point in this run, but certainly in this stage. There's a lot of fallout that comes from this. Not only do you have to be a little bit more careful through this section, which can be nasty, you can have some unfortunate spawns get the better of you. It looks like Telio might be trying to set up at least a steel armor pickup, which I think is a pretty prudent maneuver here. Oftentimes, if you get hit in this next section that you see Malcolm on right now, you'll end up getting knocked off the platform anyway, but just in case, it is nice to have the steel armor. Fred losing his shield there off of the fire. Saving a few frames as a result. Off of lag. Oh, and that imp. That saves him a few more frames. Unfortunately, it's not the frames he wanted to save. And you see how quickly Malcolm was able to defeat the Hydra there by virtue of having his upgraded daggers. Unfortunately, that will be difficult for Telio, who will have the standard daggers. And the kill will go much more slowly for the Hydra as a result. When you have those piercing daggers, you can do extra frames of damage each time you cast, or each time you fire one of those daggers. With the standard daggers that do not pierce, you're really at the mercy of when the Hydras cooperate and will take damage, and that is so slow, especially with all the lag on that fight. So we'll see that in just a few moments here for Telio. Meanwhile, Fred, it looks like he's going to take... Oh, no, I thought he was going to take the quick death there and regain his armor, but he says, you know what? Let's press forward. Oh, and Malcolm there using the late spawn hitbox there to his advantage. Oh, but that hitbox was alive and active and takes away Malcolm's armor. The Shield Knight, the Flying Knight, not cooperating there. We'll see how this swoop goes. All right, swoop is cooperative, which means Malcolm now can hurry up and take this quick death after the checkpoint, regain his armor, and we'll be able to get his gold armor back. Fred now looking to reacquire some armor, gets the steel. And one head left for Telio. All things considered, not too bad, but definitely a lot slower than he would like that to be, through no fault of his own. Yeah, it's just the nasty lag of this game and of that boss in particular. There's the green armor reacquisition for Malcolm. One more chest to get that gold armor. He'll be coming up here shortly. And it looks like Fred took a death there. Based on what his timer is at and where he's located on this stage now, it looks like he must have taken a death. And now Malcolm's looking to give the Ice Boss a death here, and does indeed. Maintains his armor once again. As Telio's climbing up here in stage 5. Malcolm not even messing around with the double kill here on these Red Reamers. He says, you know what? Let's take him out one by one at the cost of maybe an extra second or two. Not a huge deal, particularly at this point. I don't know if Malcolm is keeping tabs of where his opponents are. If he is, then he knows he has about a stage of an advantage at this point. Technically, it's about a half stage, but he's about to be finished with this one. It's so short. I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, Super Ghouls and Goats has just flown by here. No surprise given these runners. But my goodness. Malcolm is fixing to finish with, yeah, we'll see, probably about a 34, thereabouts. Depending on this Nebaroth fight, and how this stage goes. Telio now. No problem with BL Allison this time. Ice Boss done. Armor intact. And Telio now gonna rush on through this stage here. Take care of Astaroth as quickly as possible. Meanwhile, Fred making his way up through the ghoul stomach. I love that little clip through the spikes. Oh, don't love that clip through the axe armor, though. The axe ghost. And that death for Fred will set him back to the start of the ghoul stomach. And meanwhile, now Malcolm taking on Astaroth and Nebaroth here. He's just locking Astaroth into place by ducking by his foot, getting that low angle shot from the fire, and making quick work of Astaroth. So now all that's left is Nebaroth, standing in the way of Malcolm and victory here. Strictly speaking, there is one final boss, but he ain't about much. And yes, indeed. Malcolm does lose the armor there. That is actually an intentional choice because the armor will create, again, a little bit of lag here. And that's really the only thing, other than pattern recognition, that he has to worry about here. Malcolm able to get hits on all patterns here, so... Alright, well, I'm hearing myself through the restream, so apologies, ladies and gentlemen. I'll let me talk. Oh, there we go. Alright. And Malcolm. Look at this. A sub 34 in a relay race. You know, when someone comes in and matches or tops your PB in a race setting, all you can do is tip your cap. And this is Malcolm. That's just the level on which he operates with this game, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely incredible job from him. Sending Uzo Muzo into the fray in Ghosts and Demons. So he will be off on our final game first here. But Telio is jumping in to the final fight here. Well, I'm sorry, not the final fight. The final fight of the final stage. And then, of course, we will have Samael, a.k.a. Sardius. So that armor is gone for Telio once again. Does not matter. No problem for him. He will save a few frames of lag as a result. And now we will see what sort of pattern he gets. Some good hits there from Telio. Should only have one more cycle left to put away Sardius here. And let's see. There it is. And he'll be jumping to the left there. We are using Nico timing, which means the time stops when the princess lands. A little bit different than SDA timing, which is what we use for the leaderboards. Now the first boss here for Uzo. Oh, with the dragon punch. I guess it's not really a punch, but making quick work of Frankenstein's monster there. Once again, Ghosts and Demons is based off of the Wonder Swan version of Ghouls and Ghosts, or Makaimura. It's actually very similar in a lot of ways, although obviously we have color in this version. We have some extra weapons, I believe. Probably some different music as well. I've never actually heard the version on the Wonder Swan. I believe that the music is somewhat sparse, if not existent. Wonder Swan has only noise. Thank you, QC. That's what I thought. Alright, Aquas now acquiring... He's got the cross really early on. The cross is a wonder weapon in this game. It has piercing, it will block projectiles, it does a lot of damage. The only problem with it is it doesn't travel as far as some other weapons, but, you know, when you're operating on Aqua's skill level, who cares? Look how quickly the boss goes down, and just like that, Aquas is going to be making up some time here on Uzo Muzo. So Team America and Team Japan are staying very close to each other after 2 races. Just goes to show the high level of play from both sides of the ocean here. As Uzo Muzo now going on to our castle boss. This is one of the wackiest bosses in the Makaimura series. It's a very cartoony looking boss. Just, you know, an animated castle. Wow, I do not know how Uzo avoided that hit right there. That explosion happened on top of Arthur. But it did not matter. Oh, there you go. Okay, so he got hit by something there. Goodness gracious. Well, Uzo still hanging in there, getting the kill on the castle. And we'll be going on now. Still with the speed bonus. Not surprised. Of course he still gets the speed bonus there. And Aquas now, again, using the cross to his advantage. Love that cross. Did I say this correctly? Is Uzo going through the water? He is! Wow, interesting. Traditionally, I believe that it is considered faster to go through the fire stage here, if given the choice. And we'll see which Aquas chooses. Because if he goes left, then I'm just out of practice. No, see, he's going to the fire. Very interesting. So this, we'll see how this goes. Okay. We'll see who comes out on top here. All right, Uzo switching over to the shield there. Excuse me, that's not the shield. That's I don't even know what that weapon's called. It's those things what spin around when you shoot them, and they'll hang on the screen for a little bit. The discus. That's the discus. That doesn't look like the discus. Yeah, like, you know, it's not green. It's the discus. Thank you very much, Skip Natty. Skip Natty would know. So I defer to you, Skip. The flying saucers. Yes, there you go. See, Aquas, there you go, with the fast drop there. I mean, you really can't. Oh, here we go. So Fred fixing to close out Super Ghouls. He's looking for a pattern here. Yes, gets a good one to start. And now Aquas is going to be making his way on to the boss here. And as you can see in the early goings, he can just do this down stab. Get rid of at least the first hand. Oh, into the lava, but he still has his iframes. He's alive. And he's able to clear out those projectiles. We also have a boss fight, it looks like, on Uzo's screen, and Fred now coming up on time. There it is, 37:49. Don't get it twisted, ladies and gentlemen. A sub 38 in a race setting like this is amazing all the same. Fred putting in that work, and now turning things over to Bizarre here with 3 Z's, but don't sleep on him because he is the world champion of this game. And if you saw his level of play at the Halloween Horror Marathon right here on RGL TV, you know that he can make a fierce comeback for Team Europe right now. We don't want to count out either Team America or Team Japan. Certainly, they are both great runners, and they are showing us right now why they are great throughout the run, but also here in Ghosts and Demons. But I tell you what, Bizarre could bring things back into Team Europe's favor here. He absolutely could. Just a couple, 2 or 3 things go wrong for Team Japan and Team America, and Bizarre's right back into this with his high level of play. So we'll see what happens here. So it was Uzo actually finishing that previous stage first, narrowly before Team America's Aquas, and does pick up the cross, so he is loving life right now. And now we get to see some really high-level movement through here. At least visually, it looks very impressive to move through this section here. So let's see how our runners deal with this. Looks like Uzo's playing a little bit safer with his movement here. Taking it a little bit slower. A wise decision. And now, here comes Aquas. So we will see how this goes for him. I know he likes to play fast and loose through here. And Bizarre will as well, as he is taking care of our first boss. And now, up and over, yes. Okay, getting to the Manticore first. Here's Uzo. It looks like Aqua's as well. Riding on up here. Playing it a little safer. There's always that balance between safety and speed when running these games. So now as Aquas gets ready to tackle the Manticore, Uzo is moving on from the Manticore. Meanwhile, Bizarre getting going on stage 2 here. Making that climb up. Has the discus. And Manticore down for Aquas. Okay, Uzo's going to be leaving that crossbow there. Uzo's very content to stick with the cross going forward here. Oh, does not get that boost up. He tried to do the down stab and then backflip off of Bimmy and Jimmy here. Did not quite have the height to make that happen, and now almost gets cornered, but saves himself. And Cross getting a little bit of overtime work there. And so now we'll see if Aquas can do it. Does so without an issue. And now, with that death from Uzo, Aquas will take the lead here for Team America. I see Uzo having to go back to the start of the stage. Absolutely brutal. A nasty customer is this Ghosts and Demons game. Meanwhile, Aquas is on Satan. Oh, that backflip looked like it was going to be bad news for Aquas, but manages to save himself. Oh, dropping a little booty knowledge on Satan there. That backflip looks scary every time. I can't help myself. Oh, and another death there for Uzo. So now Aquas is going to be moving on to the next stage first. And Bizarre with the shield. Shield has some very similar properties to the cross. It just does not do as much damage. I don't believe it has piercing either, but it will cancel projectiles. Aquas now. Speed bonus, perfect catch, no surprise there. Now, Aquas has run this game at, for I'm sure many events, but certainly at SGDQ a couple years back. It just goes to show his high level of play at this game. And Bizarre now making his way down, the big drop here. And he'll be on to the boss fight. He's still with the shield. And here again, we see Uzo taking on the twins. Fight seemed to go pretty well for him that time. That's good news. All right, Aqua's taking care of that nasty reamer there. It looks like he's trying to get his armor back through a random drop from the chest. I believe the armor drops are all random in this game, I believe. I mean, it may not be if you already have armor, but the steel armor, I think, might be random drop. There you see Biz using his shields to clear out some of that waste, some of those fireballs from Ifrit here. As Astaroth goes down, now that is not the boss of this stage, that is just the mini boss. That is the precursor to the boss of this stage for Aquas. Satan goes down for Uzo. And Bizarre now taking care of Ifrit. I don't know that Bizarre will have enough time to challenge Aquas here. Aquas is very near the end game, although he did just lose his armor. He'll now have to take the second form of the boss here. In the buff. Manages to just dodge out of the way of that fire in time. Just have to kill all three heads and avoid these dropping skeletons. There goes one head. There goes the second. Aqua's looking in pretty good shape here. Third head down, and Aquas now will be moving on to Azazel. And with Tiamat down now, Aquas is in the driver's seat. Uzo taking care of the Arimer. Astaroth coming up here shortly for Uzo. So Uzo is jumping back into things. Had a little bit of an unkind run there from the game for a little while, but has come back in here nicely. And now Aquas taking on what should be our final boss here on Night Any %. This is Azazel. A nasty customer. Certainly the most difficult of the technically not final bosses, but of the bosses that we will see here today. Much more challenging than either Loki or Sardius. Aquas, of course, making him look easy. Uzo now on Tiamat. And the Manticore is down for Biz. All right, Tiamat second form coming up. The Manticore is, in fact, from Magic Sword. The challenge for you as the viewer is to figure out which Manticore they use from the game. So Aquas does well there to clear out all the riffraff. And there it is, the final hit for Aquas. Biz getting the boost up there. Uzo taking care of Tiamat. And GG to Team America. Aquas, congratulations. The story is happy end. S rank, immortal. Aqua's taking it home for Team America. Uzo now right on his heels, and speaking of heels, here comes Azazel, and that heel goes away. And we really can't overstate the job that Biz is doing here. 8 minutes in to be at Satan here. There's a reason why he's the best in the world of this game, ladies and gentlemen. And it may not be entirely obvious right now relative to this race situation, but Biz is just doing Biz things and absolutely crushing this game. Satan being a pal here and just covering up, that's cool. It's not a race or anything, so yeah, just why don't you delay on us? Alright, Uzo now is in the nude. I technically wearing boxers, but you know. Alright, Satan down for Biz. Good dodge there from Uzo. Nice duck. And we're getting down to it. Oh, and there once again we see the Fireball collection. Oh my goodness, back to back. Just rude. And now, Biz is going to be on to Tiamat. So there's a chance for Biz here. Uzo is hanging on, hanging tough in here, getting those hits in. Oh my goodness. I think the game is conspiring right now to have a photo finish. This is ridiculous. There it is. All right. Uzo saying, you know what? No photo finish. Second place coming home to Team Japan. Uzo hanging tough through that fight with Samael. Oh, excuse me, not Samael. Azazel, the other boss. As we see two bosses go down at the same time, Tiamat going down for Biz, who absolutely flew through this game, as we have his audio up now, and we'll be able to see him close things out in the strong Biz fashion. But Uzo, great job dealing with some nasty RNG, some really nasty RNG there, and stood tall against Azazel. And gets the job done. Second place for Team Japan. Congratulations to them, and now let's all watch as Biz does Biz things, ladies and gentlemen. goodness. Absolutely destroying Azazel. No fireball collection, no anything, just death. Just destruction from Biz. Azazel might mess around with everyone else, but he knows to get out of Biz's way. Team Europe finishing real strong right there. Bizarre. I believe that was like a 12-minute time or something like that. Ay, ay, ay. Congratulations to Team Europe. A strong showing. Team Japan taking second place, and Team America finishing first. Great job from all of our racers here today. Thank you to everyone who participated. Thank you to the Japanese G&G community for sending this up. LK for handling the clean restream for us to rebroadcast here in English on RGL TV. Thank you all for watching. And once again, congratulations to all of our runners. If you have FFZ installed, you can follow all of our runners by clicking on the buttons on your screen. There we go. The official time for Biz was a 12:01, which may be a world record. It seems to be a world record, is what Pink and Tender says. His world record run ended at 10:39. Okay, so not quite. It's not quite a world record, but an amazing run all the same. Well, an excellent job once again from Biz and from all of our runners here today. They make these games look very easy, and as most of you know, they are anything but, especially this final game, Ghosts and Demons, which is an absolute brutal ride. But really, all of these games, there's a reason that they have the reputation that they have of being incredibly hard. There's Biz's name in the credits, how about that? Anyone who pays for this game gets their name in the credits. There's also a free version that is a version by. There's Skip Natty as well. I believe I also saw maybe DOSBox, Falco, Aquas. Supposedly I'm in there. I didn't see my name. It's fine. But that is the end. That is the end for Team Europe. That is the end for this race here. We're going to host someone up. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Congratulations to all of our runners. Excellent, excellent job. Team Europe, Team America, and Team Japan put on a great show. And we thank you all for joining us here on the 5th Makaimura Relay Race, right here on RGL TV. We hope to bring you continuing race coverage as more of these happen. We have brought you some of them in the past, and we hope to do so in the future. So with that, we will sign off here today. Thank you all so much for watching.